Hey, this is Edwin Dearborn, and I am doing this video specifically as part of a presentation by Jose. I could not be there in person, but I wanted to uh, obligate Jose's request to me, which was so kind of him to have me participate in this whole activity that he's doing to bring massive value to you guys. I mean, his enthusiasm, his initiative on this is just so commendable. And he asked me to be a part of it, and I was just honored to be a part of it. And I wanted to share with you kind of my experience of marketing. If you don't know who I am, my name's Edwin Dearborn. I've written 3 books on the topics of marketing and branding. Had a lot of fun doing that. I've probably done about, 300 podcasts, either of my own or being interviewed by others. I'm almost 58 years old. I've been in business since I was 16 because my parents owned several businesses when I was young, which was where I began my entrepreneurial path. I've been always attracted and active in social media, marketing, advertising, and before, back in the 80s and 90s when we didn't have the internet, obviously it was a different space, but nonetheless, it's all about the same. How do we get a message out there? How do I attract people to my brand? How do I keep them as customers? How do I grow? I've been very fortunate in the last few years to be part of some great partnerships. I serve as a board member on 2 companies. One is a med tech company. The other one is a spinoff of that med tech company, which is a B2C play on rehab and exercise equipment at home. And both are doing phenomenally well. I'm also a partner in a bookkeeping company. We've 5x'd our stats in the last year. And then I'm also a small partner in a billing company, and we've grown by 45% in the last year. Moreover, I sell marketing services, and that company continues to grow, very active on social media. I've got about 40,000 followers. So this is something that, I don't just talk about. I apply every day, and I am helping our businesses grow despite all the craziness in this world. And last few months, I kind of distilled down, well, what are the principles of growth? And I believe in principles. So I'd like to share with you, really what are principles? Why are they important? And so I'm going to share my screen with you. And if you go to my website, brandedshareables.com, all of this information is there for you to get for absolutely free. So even if you are done watching this and you want to review the materials, I'm going to take you through those materials so that we can review those. So let's just take a look at what is a principle. And you can't really see it really big on my screen. So again, we're going to have a link there later on. But again, if you just go to brandedshareables.com, again, that's brandedshareables.com, all of the resources that I'm sharing with you on my screen will be available to you, and you can just grab that stuff absolutely for free. So let's take a look at the definition of a principle. Number 1, a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief or behavior or for a chain of reasoning. So we're forming a foundation here, and in business, you want systems. So what's the foundation of that system? Number 2, a basic idea or rule that explains or controls how something happens or works. So do you want to control how something works in your business? The answer is yes. So again, principles set what those are. It is derived from the Latin principium, which means that which is first. Isn't that interesting? That which is first. So if we don't have principles, we don't have that which is first, how do we really build systems? How do we really build a business? Now, principles should be pragmatic. They should be fundamental, meaning they're not only just fundamental, they work for us. They actually set us as stable datums. What is the stable data? How do we operate? What are the principles? And I believe that it's important that you as a company, that you as an individual, you as a business person, you as a parent, you have certain principles. What are the fundamental truths or propositions that are going to serve you in your business? I believe that it's not only important to delve into those and find out what they are, but to write them down, to share them. Make it part of your culture. Go, hey, we've got principles. This is, to tell the truth, to honor our parents, to be a vital part of our community. What are the principles that really make us a business? So I'm going to go to another page here on our website. Now that you've kind of got an idea of what principles are, I want to go another one, or what are the 10 core principles? Because, when I was working with the companies, it was like, okay, we got to grow the business. But again, back to that which is first, what are the core principles of business growth? And I'm going to go over these with you. Now, this is my list. This is my opinion. So I'm sure there could be another business expert who could go, well, that isn't the core principles of growth. Okay. Well, this is my take on what are the 10 core principles. And I'm going to give you examples of these. Again, you don't necessarily have to take notes, because you're going to be able to go to my website, brandedshareables.com, and you're going to be able to see those for yourself. In fact, let me just type at my website real quick here, brandedshareables.com. There we go. And I will show that. So if you go to brandedshareables.com, all this information is at free stuff is the tab. Okay, first principle, the money is in the list. The money is in the list. Do you have a list? Do you have a mailing list? Do you have an email list of all your past customers, of your leads? Do you have a CRM? Are you using a CRM? You got to build your list. I would also include this is, the money is in the list. Are you building your followers on social media? I have almost 20,000 just on LinkedIn alone. I engage them every day. I get thousands of views of my content every single day because I know the money's in the list. I'm generating about 30 new followers a day on LinkedIn. I'm growing my list. I'm growing my email list every single day. Why? Because I know that the money is in the list. You've got to build lists. I remember working with a coffee shop one time. The guy is like, I don't have enough business coming in. I'm like, the place is packed all the time. He's like, yeah, but it's not enough sales. I said, that's because most of your business is in the morning buying $3 coffees, $4 coffees. You probably had 10,000 people roll through here in the last few years, but you sell $15 lunches and $20 lunches. Do you ever grab their list and then remind them to come back for lunch, where they'll spend 3, 4, 5 times more money? The answer is no, he doesn't. So we got on this thing of getting people's emails by giving them a 10% discount on the coffee in the morning. We built up the email list, and around 11:30 in the afternoon, we'd email the lunch menu and the lunch specials. We grew his business by 30%, his sales by 30% by getting the same people to come back. But we had to build a list. You're losing referrals, you're losing business because you're not staying in front of people, because you don't have them in a list. You don't have an intelligent use of a CRM, a customer relationship management platform. You can get these, they're inexpensive, but I'm telling you, the money's in the list. Number 2, the size of your list and the followers directly influences the size of your revenue. So if the money's in the list, then how big do you want? You want a big list. You want big followers. You've got to do things every day that give people reasons to follow you and to be on your list. You've got to incentivize them because your content is so good and you're engaging. So we use virtual assistants as well as our own efforts to reach out to people and grow our lists. That's a key component for us, is growing our list. It's one of our principles is, are we growing our list? Are we growing our followers? How can we do that? So you need to have a strategy of how you're going to grow the list. It's one thing to have it, but are you growing it? So, in one partnership that I'm in, about a year and a half ago, our list was 500. It's almost at 10,000. and we send out content to that list, what do you think? Do you think we're getting clients from that? Absolutely. We've gone from a few hundred followers on social media to over 10,000 followers on social media, and we're actually generating leads and referrals from our social media posts because our content is always going out to an ever-growing list. So you've got to maybe doing it yourself, and it's kind of slow in the beginning, but if you stick to that principle and you make more money, then you can invest in resources to grow it even faster. Okay, point number 3, principle number 3, within your list and followers, now that you're growing the list, you have a list, are influencers. Influencers are a very specific type of individual, and I'm not talking about that gorgeous model on Instagram with 3 million followers who travels all over the world. There are 2 types of influencers that most business people will be able to tap into. What are called a nano influencer and a micro influencer. A nano influencer is somebody who's got between 1,000 and 10,000 followers, and a micro influencer has got between 10 and 100,000 influencers. This could be as simple as finding out, hey, are you active on social media? Asking all the people that you're engaged with, and then figuring out how you can partner with them, just like what Jose's doing. He's partnering with me. I've got 20,000 people. I take his content, his video, I send it out and go, hey, watch Jose. Jose is now tapping into my circle of influence. You can be doing the same. So you've got to identify who are the people that have influence. And hey, 1,000 may not sound like enough, but I'll tell you, how'd you like to have 1,000, somebody reaching out and telling 1,000 people about you? This is powerful. This is powerful, especially local brands. Or if you're trying to reach very niche type audiences. I have a consultant back east that works with real estate investors, and he only has 700, but these 700 followers in his database, they're buying, $500,000, $1 million homes. I can tap into his database. He sends his, I create content with him. He sends it. I can get those guys as clients. So figure out, this is as you're building your list, identify the people that are micro and nano influencers and see how you can collaborate with them and create content with them and create maybe even exclusive dealerships or exclusive referral partnerships with them. So find the influencers within your list as you're building your list. Point number 4, the fortunes in the follow-up. This is why it's so important to have a CRM. This is why it's so important to maybe automation tools to automate your social media postings. You can take your social media postings and post them over and over and over with various software. Why? Because I want to be in front of that ever-growing list with phone calls, with emails, with content, with videos. If I do a podcast, I blast it out. I'm sharing my content on, I've got virtual assistants scheduling me more podcasts, then scheduling the postings of those podcasts, then reaching out for me. This has all become systems. Now they're making phone calls for me and I'm getting appointments. My schedule is like packed. It's going to get even more packed. How do you think we're getting all these sales? We're following these principles. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You want to be everywhere. Omnipresence is power for a brand. So if you're following up constantly, phone calls, postcards, emails, posts, and you just surround them with your brand message, you're going to get more business. You're going to grow your business. Point number 5, good service is no longer acceptable. You can't be good. You've got to provide and render remarkable experiences. Remarkable experiences turn into referrals. They turn into positive reviews. They turn into partnerships. They turn into a lot of opportunities that you would miss if you were not remarkable. So good service is almost like it's expected. That's just get you at the dinner table. If I go to a restaurant, I expect good service. It doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is when I don't get good service. What makes me remember is remarkable. And I use the word remarkable on purpose because it's worthy of a remark, hence remarkable. You want to, like, how could you make your service so amazing that people actually remark on it? Like, they say, man, that was the best podcast I've ever listened to, or that's one, I'm going to share that podcast, or that restaurant, the waiter, the way he remembered our names, he was polite, he was funny, he was engaging. That was a remarkable experience. There's so much competition out there that you got to figure out how to become remarkable. If you become remarkable, your content is remarkable, your presence is remarkable, how you treat people is remarkable. Believe me, it's going to grow your business. You've got to be remarkable. Point number 6, impactful communication is a superpower. As I say, become an articulate beast. We know leaders by how well they communicate, by their language, their body language, their insistence, their enthusiasm, everything about the art of communication. When you can master communication in written form, video form, podcast form, email, you name it, in every way, if you put out impactful communication, you're going to grow. A lot of brands put out either no content or boring content. They don't have a good presence. So get good at communication. Take some communication classes. Understand what would it take to make you an articulate beast? That your content is so remarkable, back to point number 5, that people go, wow, those videos, those emails, he brings so much value. Everything right here is just about being a superpower when it comes to communication. It's something I always work on. I review my videos. How can I become better? What could we do with our content better? Why? Because it is superpower, which brings us to point number 7. Content is king, distribution is queen, engagement is the throne. Stories are a powerful tool. So you want to be able to put really good content like, the top 10 ways to handle a problem, like my top 10 principles, interviews with experts. That's really good content. Predictions of trends, tips. Here's 7 tips of how to do something, how to fix this, insights, behind the scene interviews, answers to common questions. That is really good content. Now, distribution is queen, meaning if your content is only being seen by a couple people and it's really remarkable, it's not going to have as much impact as if you're distributing it. So you can distribute it through paid advertising. You can distribute it through partnerships, sponsored content, advertising content, Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads. But you got to get that content out there. So the primary way is going to grow your list and followers. That's a way to get your content out there. But at some point, you're going to have to get into a paid play to really reach a whole new level. And believe me, for a few $100, you can get your content out there to a lot more people. So distribution is queen. And then engagement is the throne, meaning you're really going to own people if you engage with them. So if people are commenting on your comments, you should say something. You should say, hey, thanks for the kind words. Or so social media and email, everything that you do, you've got to engage people. Thank them for the review. Don't just, go, oh, good, I got a good review. Let them know that it was great to see them. When people comment on my post, I try to comment back, or at least give a thumbs up emoji. Just let them know that that I've noticed them and I'm engaging with them. If you engage with your social media, you're going to see your social media posts go to more people because the algorithms look at engagement. So I'm always engaging on my social media because I know if I do that, my social media post will go to even more audiences. 8, content marketing is the new PR, public relations. If you want more publicity, you've got to become your own publisher. If you want to have more media, you're going to have to become your own media agent. Content marketing is the new PR. What is your content marketing play? I know there's a lot of different opportunities out there. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe you do a YouTube series. Maybe you write. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's Instagram shorts. Maybe it's TikTok videos. But you've got to put content out there. And not every content is going to work the same for other people. So I just tell people, look, focus on one content. If it's just an email newsletter, just do that really well. Get good at that. If it's a weekly report about the trends in your business, get really good at that. But find the thing that you can do and then just get good at that. Don't worry about what you're doing. There's a lot of things I don't do in marketing. I don't need to. Email marketing, very important to me. This is me. LinkedIn, B2B, very important to me. I love LinkedIn. Email and LinkedIn, I get a lot of leads. And now we're adding phone calling my LinkedIn connections. We're actually getting on the phone. I've got a VA setting me appointments. Just those three things I'm getting really good at. So am I good at TikTok? No. Am I on Twitter? Yeah, but I'm not really good at it. So, I don't count on that. So I know my core platforms. I know my core ways to put content out, and I just get my PR going in that way. But if you want more PR, if you want more public relations, you got to do it yourself. You got to think like a publicist. Number 9, joint ventures and co-branding are force multipliers. Co-branding, like I'm working with Jose. I'm getting my content out. He's getting his content out through me. But this is a big, big deal. Like if I was a bookkeeper, I would want joint ventureships with maybe CPAs, with bankers, with mortgage brokers, people that are dealing with money. I want to become the official bookkeeper of these brands. So joint ventures and co-branding opportunities are force multipliers. You can literally, by building these alliances, you can literally tap into a database that would take you years to grow. So look for people that are not competitors, but are servicing similar people. Like if I had a florist shop, I'd be going out and I'd be pitching wedding planners and churches and hotels. I'd be looking for people like, well, where are flowers placed? Funeral homes. I'd be looking for joint partnerships. I'm telling you, this is a force multiplier. This is a force multiplier. This is why I formed partnerships. You know why I formed partnerships? Because I can get a piece of their business and do their marketing and get a portion of the profits. Force multiplier. This is a big, big play for me. Big, big play. So you need to think about how you can team up with other people and create partnerships and alliances. And then the last one is frequency and consistency are omnipotent, meaning all powerful. Look, if you wanted to lose weight, how frequently and consistently would you have to work out and eat well? Do you just eat a salad and some vegetables once a week and work out once a week? Well, imagine if you went on a really, really good diet 7 days out of the week and you worked out 5 days of the week. You get way more results. See, you're doing the right thing by eating a salad and working out, but by doing it frequently and consistently, that's when the change occurs in your health and weight. It's not just a matter of doing the right things. It's a matter of doing the right things over and over and over for a very long period of time. I commonly ask this question. I'm going to ask you this. How long does it take to build a powerful brand? You know what the most common answer I get? They go, if you work hard, 5 years. If you work hard, if you're frequent and consistent, it'll take you 5 years to build a powerful brand. So imagine yourself 5 years from now. How frequent and being remarkable will you have to be? How consistent will you have to be in the postings? How consistent and frequent will you have to be in having your content everywhere, by delivering great service, by building your list? See, if you're frequent and consistent with the first 9 points, it literally is a 10x factor. It's a 10x factor. These core principles of business growth are so demonstrable and I could show you hundreds of companies that have had these principles applied and have grown. But see, you've got to work it out for yourself. And so here's my challenge. You take these 10 principles, and I want you to write down on a piece of paper for yourself how you could move the ball forward on all 10 points. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. I want you to use this principle that the Japanese called Kaizen, Kaizen. And Kaizen is small, continuous improvements. If you made small, continuous improvements along all 10 points of these principles of business growth, I guarantee you're going to grow your business. Unless you're selling something unethical, unless you're selling something destructive, there's no way that if you're selling something pro-survival that benefits human beings in some way, some capacity, that if you were to constantly work on small improvements along these 10 core principles, you would have absolute growth. Absolutely. So again, go to brandedshareables.com, get these free resources, figure it out for yourself, get a dictionary, look up any words you don't fully understand, wrap your wits around this. Journal about it, write about it, but put it down on paper, on a Google Doc, something, and work out for yourself. What are your principles, and how can I apply these 10 principles of business growth to me? And how can I make small daily improvements? Don't overwhelm yourself. Take proactive actions. Have small wins, lots of small wins, turn into big wins. It's true. Small wins done over and over turn into big wins. And that's what I want for you. I want you to win big, but don't be distraught that the big win doesn't happen today. That big win of that big, powerful brand 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now will be because you took the time to create the small wins along these 10 principles. I wish you luck. Thank you, Jose, and thanks to all to you for joining me here on this video. Bye-bye.